Hello everyone, Kit here, back with another video. Today for you guys, I'm going to be reading the Ye Shall Be Redeemed, the redemption process. I'll leave a link just down in the description box below, along with our email. You can email us at theones@gmail.com for private consultation. And without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. When you were born, your parents unwittingly created a trust for you via the United States government when they filled out their certificate of live birth registration. Regis equals regal equals loyal. Late 14C from Old French regal royal 12C, or directly from Latin regalis royal, kingly, of or belonging to a king, worthy of a king. From rex genitive regis king, from pi root, direct in a straight line, rule, guide. That certification was the certificate of live birth, which from here on it shall be referred to as a kolb. The birth record with all caps is the dead version. It is a death certificate. Actually, it is a death certificate. It was created because the acknowledgement form for parents was not returned. A stillbirth form was used on everyone because the notice went unanswered and they are looking for a kolb as a supplemental document. Supplement, that is what is needed to prove you're alive and kill the infant descendant. Once you complete your name change and send the decree along with your kolb back to the vital status, you'll be issued an amended birth abstract. This is how the titles are merged. More on the name change below. Join two houses for a resolution or join house resolution. Supplement, noun. 1. Something added to complete a thing or make up for a deficiency or extend or strengthen the whole. 2. A section added to a book or document to give further information to correct errors. 1. Obtain a copy of your certificate of live birth from Department of Vital Statistics in your state. Send it to your state secretary of state for authentication. Note, you will want it authenticated, not apostilled. The kolb is a warrant. An order that serves as an authorization, especially a a judicial writ authorizing the search or seizure of property, arrest of a person, or the execution of a legal judgment. A voucher authorizing payment or receipt of money. An option to buy stock at a specified price from an issuing company. An option to buy stock at a specified price from an issuing company, and is also a deed. Law. A signed, sealed, and delivered instrument. An instrument conveying an interest in real property. It is also the corpus that they execute the habeas upon. Economics. The capital or principal amount as an estate or trust. The principal of a bond. When filling out the form for authentication, it will require a reason for authentication. You will write in or choose for travel, and then supply a country for which it will be used. You want to choose a country that has not signed the Hague Treaty and is still considered a republic. Most are using Taiwan. Send the certificate of live birth, the proper fee, and the application to the address supplied for authentication services. It should take a couple weeks at the most. Authentication is done by top-level ecclesiastical agencies. An official recognition by a government of a consul, agent, or other representative of a foreign state, authorizing them to exercise the duties of office. Secretary. A person employed to write orders, letters, dispatches, public or private papers, records, and the like. An official scribe. An anonymous or writer one who attends to correspondence and transacts other business for an association, a public body, or an individual. This is the ecclesiastical deed poll. The kolb is the sapphire stone, and the two witnesses are the Secretary of States in each state, authenticating for countries outside of The Hague, making it international law. Your sapphire stone, aka blue certificate of live birth, must be authenticated by the scribes. Ezekiel 1:26, and above the firmament that it was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. 1 Chronicles 29/8. And they with whom precious stones were found gave to them to the treasury of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jehiel the Gerasonite. When you receive it back, you will then authenticate on the federal level. Go to the Federal Secretary of State website and download the form. Fill it out and send it. The fee and the kolb off for authentication. Note: if you happen to live in one of the original 13 states colonies, you will only authenticate on your state level. You will receive the 1776 seal. Authenticators are the two witnesses, state level and federal level. Revelation 11/4. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. The two witnesses, rod, register of deeds. Revelation 11. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship herein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 and 2 months. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 and 60 days, clothed in sackcloth. When the kolb is authenticated, it will be converted into a promissory note. After you have authenticated your kolb, you will have top-level witnesses on your deed. This is your key of David that opens doors no man can shut. This is the ecclesiastical deed poll. Two witnesses / the authentication and the deed to your landed estate. Estates, a wharf at which land goods form, or load them in a vessel. This word is now generally spelled quay, from the French quay. Revelation 3/7. And the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, These things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. This reference is to the irrevocable trust that will be opened to you once you redeem your kolb. It will be imperative that you follow the instructions to the letter when creating your affidavit of name change, and this will be covered below. But until this is done, you are in hell. What is hell? The name formerly given to a place under the exchequer chamber, where the king's debtors were confined. Law Dictionary. What is hell? Definition of hell. Black's Law Dictionary. You are to be treated as an adult, age of majority, when you record your deed. Revelation 13/18, King James Version. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Legal age of majority. The capital letter name is theirs. Take control of it, and the immunity, rights, and credit, as opposed to cash, is yours. It is removed by a name change proceeding in probate. Equity, or what is called a motion. A motion, removal outstanding, especially the removal of a corporate officer from his office. Deprivation of possession. While you're waiting for it to return, you will need to find the website for your country's probate court and then look for name change procedures. There should be strict instructions and an affidavit template for each state. You will submit your authenticated code with an affidavit of name change. Find the requirements in your state for name change, which is really an issue/security check. The name is actually the child when you submit all your forms/documents. You must include an original authenticated code. This is the straw man's last will and testament. Special deposit. The present reality of the believer's adoption into the family of God is released from the slavery of sin, the law, and the new position as free heir of God. Entering into salvation brings the rights and privileges of free sonship. For you did not receive a spirit that makes you a slave again to fear, but you receive the spirit of sonship. 1 Corinthians 15:52. In a moment, the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the deed shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. By the way, who is running around the country blowing his horn? Trump. The Register of Deeds confirmed that the code is in fact a death certificate. Hebrews 9:15, King James Version. And for this cause he is the meditator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the First Testament, which they are called, might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. Revelation 2:11, King James Version. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. That he overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. The first death occurs when the Social Security Administration pronounces you dead, since no one claimed you after your birth. This occurred when the hospital ran an ad in the local newspaper in the announcement section that this was actually a lost and found ad, since your parents did not notify the state that you were alive. You were then classified as dead or lost at sea. Since we currently operate under an admiralty law, or the law of the water, the second death occurred when you complete your name change and obtain the court order. This is the death of the straw man. In most cities, registries, your name is not the book of life, and is left blank, waiting for you to return. Once you have decree of name change, you will need to join the two houses. This means that both records need to be merged in vital status. You will send your name change decree, certified copy, and authenticated code to the vital stats department of the country of birth, and they will amend the birth record. What this does is separates you from the legal fiction that the state created. 2. Signifies proof of life, since no one can obtain or amend a birth record but the person named on the document, unless you relinquish POA. When you come forth and change your name to the proper style, you have told the state, I am no longer missing, lost at sea, etc., but alive and well on the land. 3. Restores your power of attorney and makes you the controller of the all caps fiction estate. Vital status will send you an amended code which you can have authenticated, not necessary but up to you. Your deed is now perfected. What is perfect title? The name that is applied to the clear title that is free from clouds and litigation. Law Dictionary. What is perfect title? Definition of perfect title. Black's Law Dictionary. You are to complete the covenant or the promise by recording and conveyance. Once you deliver with the proper conveyance, it will take the trade date and 3 days to settle. For most stock trades, settlement occurs 3 business days after the day the court executes. Another way to remember this is through the abbreviation T plus 3 or trade date plus 3 days. For example, if you were to execute an order on Monday, it will typically settle on Thursday. Note: who died on the cross and arose after 3 days. The next step is to gather your amended code, certificate, copy of degree, and certified copy of deed of conveyance, a self-proving will affidavit, and your DBA. More on that below, and file them with the probate court in the country of birth. You'll need to purchase a $10 postal money order to pay the import/excise tax. Make it payable to the clerk of the court. Article 1, the Legislative Branch, Section 9, Clause 1. The migration or importation of such persons as of any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation, not exceeding $10 for each person. You are paying the import tax to import yourself into the organic United States. The Secretaries of State are the holder and keepers of all your accounts. You are giving them notice that you are alive, well on the land, and now have control of your affairs. Definition of conversion: the act of exchanging convertible security for the underlying common stock. For example, if one holds a convertible bond in company, a conversion occurs when the holder gives the convertible bond back to the company. A, in return, either receives for free or buys at a stated price common shares in the same company. Your convertible security is your coal. The Jubilee year always constituted an opportunity for great amnesty, which is intended to include the many people who, despite deserving punishment, have become conscious of the injustice. They worked and sincerely wished to re-enter society and make their honest contribution to it. May they all be touched in a tangible way by the mercy of the Father who wants us to be close to those who have the greatest need of His forgiveness. They may obtain the indulgence in the chapels of the prisons. It is a general rule that where a creditor gives indulgence by entering into a binding contract with the principal debtor, by which the surety is or may be indemnified, which surety is discharged, because the creditor has to put it out of its power to enforce immediate payment, when the surety would have a right to require him to do so. Once you have completed that step, you would then apply for 2 DBAs in the country of your current residence, one for the upper/lower proper name, and one for the last first middle name. You will check off other business type and register it as exempt, unincorporated, and conducting your day-to-day business using the full legal name as heir/beneficiary of state. When you sign your name as name holder or owner, you will sign last name first or first name last. Once this is done, you are now legally able to conduct business and you will not be taxed or required to obtain permits. Then you will file for a service mark with the Secretary of State of your current resident state. Find the form on the SOS website and you will select service mark, not trademark. The service mark will be your signature. Use class number 45. Class number 45 includes legal services, security checks for the protection of property and individuals, personal and social services rendered by others to meet the needs of individuals. The self-proving will. Since your authenticated call is now your last will and testament, you will draw up a self-proving affidavit. Check your state statutes. Many states even offer a template in the statutes. Your all-capital letter name will use the address of the hospital where you are born, as it is where you were captured. The beneficiary will be your current address. Get 2 witnesses to sign and get it notarized. Then send it registered, not mail certified, which will be your 7th seal. Once you get your signature card back, check your credit report. If it comes up blank, you are redeemed. And yeah, that's it, guys. Once again, I'll leave a link to this down in the description box below. One for email. You can email us at themullings@gmail.com for private consultation. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.